So a wrap of tape, again, what I want to do with this is I'm just covering the screw heads. Okay. Now this part is just for Ken. What I'm going to do is, as you saw in this piece, you'll see that there's like a nub under here, right? And I'll show you how that happens. But what I want to do is I want to bind all of my falls below, which is why, if you look backwards, I cut everything up to a 1/2 inch. If it was cut down to 3/4 of an inch, that would still be one piece of leather here, and trying to get it sucked in underneath the handle gets to be a real bitch. At least when all the falls are loose, they'll tie up really nicely. And again, this is why the wax thread is really important as opposed to something else, some strings, because it's thin. I can do a lot with it, but it's got great, watch it, it'll snap the first time, or like a Microsoft demo. But it's got great tensile strength, so I can really get in there and put a lot of tension on this. Right, and what I'm doing, as you can see, is I'm getting all my falls basically connected underneath the handle. And I always have an explanation for that, because when you look up someone's skirt, you don't want to find wood. That's sort of just a general rule that I have.
Heterosexually speaking.
Well, yeah.
Thank you.
Well, braiding speaking, anyway.
This is a mixed crap.
Hey, I wasn't talking about sex, Kenny. Calm down,
Sure.
man. This is all braiding.
Talking about sex on the way.
Okay, so you can see I've got a nub there now. And the reason that's important is if you're going to be doing knots, you need a space to be able to anchor your knots onto. Otherwise they slide all over the place and it gets real ugly real fast. So, again, tape is our friend. Another great thing, and this is just coincidence by the way, because you can get it in any color, but black electrical tape is great because almost everybody wants black toys. So you don't see anything. Okay. Now again, this is just a cosmetic thing. This space that I've created, although it does have a bit of an indent, for me personally, this is just a personal thing, I don't feel like it's enough space for me, never have, it's not just this piece, for me to put my knot on effectively. So what I always do, and I always do this for a couple of reasons, is I've got a piece of leather, and I can tell you this is one of these measurements that generally will work out. If your knot is up 3/4 of an inch, which is where we wrapped it, and you tie it underneath a strip of leather 1.25 inches, and you'll notice that I haven't done this yet, if I lay this at the top of my knot, it will cover the string area. Oh, look at that. And that will give me enough of an anchor point at the bottom for me to do the knots. Now, except for you, because I know that's what you're here for. Did anybody come to learn knots? Because you're going to be really disappointed. Because that's like a whole other class on its own. So all I do is I do 2 wraps on this. And when I say 2, I mean I literally bring it right around to the points where they touch. And then cut it off. All right. Now this is again one of these things that might seem a little bit strange. With this piece of leather, all I'm going to do is tape it on. People say, well, won't it come off? When you do the knot is actually anchored at the back against the stuff that we all just glued on. So the knot's going to go anywhere, which means this little piece of leather is not going anywhere either. I'm just using it as an anchor, like I said, for the knot. So, make sure you cover all that tape. And what's going to happen when you do the knot is that the leather actually will extend a little bit past where your anchor point is. So it's great for covering everything. And that's it. Now again, from a practical perspective, this is the flogger. This is it. It is ready to go. Everything else, even the braiding, is just decoration.